In this video, guys, we are going to explore the difference between liabilities and assets on our farms. Yes, because a lot of people interact with me, they come into my inbox. Most of these topics, I get them through your conversations. And I say, oh, I need to talk about this thing. Oh, I need to talk about this, so that my people don't really do these mistakes. Because one of my subscribers, actually, we were interacting, and she was telling me, I want to build a brooder. I want to build, a separate house for my cocks, a separate house for my hens, so a lot of projects on the farm. Yet this farmer has no money. She is just a beginner. When I asked about her capital, the capital was really small. So guys, in this video, I'm going to explore to you and explain to you how to avoid spending in liabilities. Yes, and you must understand the difference between liabilities and assets. So in today's video, that is what we are going to explore and know in full details. Yes, so now, what are liabilities and what are assets? Because we should avoid spending in liabilities and we should spend our money in assets. Yes, so liabilities. So we should first define the word liabilities. I'm going to give you a list of liabilities on the farm, the things you should avoid spending much money in, because they don't bring in anything to you. Yes, so what is a liability? A liability is anything that takes away money from your pocket. These are what we call liabilities. It takes away money in your pocket. It is what we call a liability. It will never bring in anything to your pocket. That is a liability. How about assets? Assets bring in money in your pocket. These are what we call assets. These are the things that bring in money in your pocket. Liabilities are the things that take away money out of your pocket. Yes. So now we should avoid spending money in liabilities on our farms. What are liabilities? A liability, for example, structures. I'm going to explain one by one. A structure is a liability. How? We are going to explain that. Number 2, fence. Number 3, I will explain as we go on. So now, one of the major liabilities on our farm when we are starting a farm, because we need all the things, for production. You will need land, you will need, a lot of things for production to occur on your farm. But you have to be very careful and be very vigilant before you spend a lot of money. Because at the end of the day, you will need to have accountability, and also you will need to spend that money into an asset which brings in money. So what most farmers do, they spend a lot of money in building what we call fancy structures, especially the permanent structures. And once they build these fancy structures, they run out of money, because all the money they have injected in the structures, building fancy structures using expensive materials. Guys, you don't need expensive materials. These chicken really don't matter. They don't really care about the fancy of the structure. All they need a shelter from rain. They will need a shelter from predators. They will need a shelter from sun. That is it. And once you provide a condition for that, even if it's a temporary structure, they are very happy for that. So they don't need fancy structures, because they are not human beings. For us, we need luxuries, we need fancy things, but these chicken really don't matter when it comes to fancy of the structure, because these birds will still lay at the same percentage with those who are in temporary structures. Yes, they will not exceed the percentage. If they are laying 75%, even if you give them a fancy structure, they will still lay on 75%. So that is it. They don't care when it comes to structure, as long as you provide the conditions that they really need Another thing that we spend our money on is the fence. So most people, inject a lot of money when they are building the fence or the boundaries on the farm. So guys, what are you supposed to do? Do not overspend the money in fencing. Just buy a chain link, and fence your farm, because at the end of the day, you will need security. We need security for proper biosecurity and also to avoid the theft on our farm. So you shall need fence, but make sure that you use cheap available materials. Do not use fancy materials. Maybe you are using 99 for what? They will not bring in any man on your farm. So make sure that you differentiate between a liability and an asset on your farm. There you will develop. So anything that anything that you really inject in your money, always ask yourself, is this a liability? Is this an asset? Because after spending your money in these things, buying drinkers, buying feeders, buying all those stuff, at the end of the day, you will run bankrupt. Yes, bankrupt. Bankrupt. What does bankrupt mean? Bankrupt means poor or poverty. You will not have money to feed the birds. The birds are the real assets on our farms. Assets are the birds that we are keeping, or any animals that we are keeping on our farm. Because these birds are the one that gives us eggs. They're the one that gives us meat to sell and bring in money to us. So that means all our money should be injected here. But most people inject the money in structures, fences, building fancy structures, building nice fence, and they forget that at the end of the day, they will need money to feed the birds. So after building all these fancy things, they will really lack money, and the birds will not have enough feeds in the long run. And what they have to do is to sell them off, or to sell the property to other people. Why? Because of poor, I call it poor planning. Poor planning and strategy. Whenever you don't have a strategy for your business, this is what you do. You overspend in liabilities and spending in assets. And there, you cannot thrive, or you cannot be successful at all. So guys, that is what I have for you today. Please, whenever you are investing your money, do not invest in liabilities, though we shall need them on our farm, but make sure that they are not taking that much. They are not taking that much. These temporary houses are good. They can last for 10 to 15 years. So why do you have to go into permanent houses? Leave those permanent houses to big farms, people who have a lot of income, who have a lot of capital. Those one. And also for them, when you hear their stories, they did not start from fancy houses. But for you are just a beginner and you want to start on fancy houses, really for what? For them, they also started flu temporary. But when the farm keeps on growing, bringing in much income, much revenue, that means you can, upgrade to any fancy structures that you really want. But as a beginner, please make sure you don't do these mistakes, because you will regret in the long run. So, that is for today, guys. I have for you. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Do not forget to share also to your friends. Make sure that whenever you watch a very interesting video, share it to others. They also need this information that you are already getting for free. Yes. So, let me see you in my next video. Please put a comment down below and I'll answer all. Ask any question that you really feel you want. I will answer it to you. See you guys. Bye bye.